It is for the women in the society to think of these factors and see how they can contribute. If you look on the internet, there's a vast information about women entrepreneurs, which give you different ideas as to how they started from the traditional industries like making papads, pickles, and so on. And now they have shifted to digital technology and power cables, etc. So there's a vast thing. What does all this signify? This signifies that growth is taking place according to what Schumpeter has visualized. And this growth is very crucial to any economy. Because when you're talking about growth, you're talking about increases in the per capita income. These increases in per capita income will come if the output is increasing. Because output divided by population is what we call per capita income. Population is increasing in India, which we all know, and therefore output has to increase faster than the population. So when you're talking about contribution by women entrepreneurs, we are looking at how much are they giving a value added to the existing system. And when you're looking at what is the value added to the existing system, you're looking about contribution by these marginal workers. The word marginal workers may be a misnomer because they are not marginal workers in any particular sense. All that I mean is they are the additional workers that are being pumped into the system. These additional workers that are pumped into the system will contribute to growth. Now, what is the definition of a woman entrepreneur? It's a traditional definition. Whoever organizes and starts a new project or a new industry or a new enterprise, we call them an entrepreneurs. There are several entrepreneurs that are existing, both male and female, but the concentration in this particular topic is on the women. And how can women contribute to this society? Traditionally, they did not contribute that much, but now when we look at it, we are looking at various ways in which they have added things. What are the factors that made them come into this field? The factors could be personal factors. It could be the family issues. Suddenly there's a change in the income and therefore they had to come up and think of some other way. And if you look at the statistics, most of them are between the ages 20 to 30 that have started in recent years. The youngest one is 21, and I just looked up the information and I cannot recall, I'm trying to recall her name. She's the youngest one who started on websites, and her name is Suresh, I think, is the last name. And she has contributed immensely at the age of 21. And if you look at it, what did she do? She just came up with a new website idea and she started developing on that website idea, and she grew into millions of rupees in business and contributed very well by becoming popular all over. Can everybody have this ambition? Can you be an entrepreneur? This is a question I throw to all youngsters. Anyone can be an entrepreneur provided they have the motivation and they have the facilitation. Motivational factors are important. You need to have the enthusiasm, you need to have the zeal, and you need to be interested in picking up the business. What type of business you will pick up depends upon your individual capacity. It also depends upon your individual interest. All businesses are not the same for all people, and each one is tuned to a different type of business. So it is necessary for the individual woman to find what her corner is and try to develop in that area. There is no need to copy somebody. There is no need to just repeat what somebody else has done. Each one can come up with their new idea. And as Schumpeter said, you can come up with a new technology, try to identify a new source of raw material that can be used. As an example, I'll try to give you here a small entrepreneur who started in my little town, Kearney. This entrepreneur started the business where in summer the heat was very high and it was very difficult for the cars to be parked in the parking lot. And when the cars were parked in the parking lot, the example was that the steering wheel became very hot. And therefore, he started a small enterprise in the university by cutting a cardboard and making eyeglasses for the cars. That picked up in the university community, and he had a good sale, and he was able to pay his semester fees. This is a true story that I'm talking about, where it was a female entrepreneur who took up this idea and she developed this and she tried to serve the society. So ideas like these are very small and have been successful. And when we talk about these ideas in this fashion, the main reason why women want to become entrepreneurs, apart from the personal factors, is the societal factors. How much can they contribute to the society and how much can they do? As Pandit Nehru had said, if a woman succeeds, then the nation will succeed. And the reason why if a woman succeeds, the nation will succeed is because if a woman succeeds, the family will succeed. And if the family will succeed, the village will become important. And if the village succeeds, then the town will become important. And if the town becomes important, the state will become important. And if the state becomes important, the nation will develop. You can go on like this, seeing what impact women can have on the society. And this impact we should keep in mind and try to concentrate on this and say, let us do it in this fashion. Now, India has progressed very well in this area, I must admit, because although you're comparing in one of the statements in the speech, I heard that US is far better. The US has resources and therefore it's easy to succeed there. I admire women in India because with the limited resources that they are trying to make a big impact and they are trying to improve the existence not only for themselves, but for the people around. Good examples you have in society. Dr. Sudha Murthy has been a very successful entrepreneur in her own way and has had great impact. Anytime you have time, please read about her, and she would be a good role model for any one of you because she shows how you can succeed with nothing and yet come up high in society. She has impacted this family, she has impacted the state, and she has impacted the world internationally also. She has been given several awards, and she's a good example of a woman entrepreneur who successfully worked for not only for herself, but for all others in the community. The second point that I would like to bring here is when you're thinking of business, it's not only for profit, you also have to think about how you could improve the society. Of course, profit is the main motivation to do business, I agree. But at the same time, try to see how it would impact the society. Impact on the society is very, very important because women can impact the society, and the way they can impact the society is by contributing not only for themselves, but to see how they can impact the others. As it is said in one statement, women have wings. Women have wings in the sense that we all have wings that we don't recognize. And when you have those wings, try to use those wings to fly high up. And women on wings is a very famous term that has been used in the literature. And if you can identify your wings, then you can succeed and become a good entrepreneur. This is what we call empowerment, women empowerment. This women empowerment is something that you have to concentrate on by not only looking at the profitability of a situation, but also what is the impact, not only on your immediate family, not only on your immediate village or town, whatever the case may be, but what is the impact overall. If you can have that impact, that will carry to growth. If the ultimate idea is that women should contribute to growth, then I think each woman entrepreneur should recognize that any undertaking that she takes would have an impact. Now, there are different ideas and there are different factors that may hinder the opportunities that exist here. When you look at the factors, lack of knowledge, lack of training, lack of adaptability, and you're talking about lack of family support, which is very common here because the unfortunately or unfortunately, the women have dual role in this country, as in every other country. But in the other countries, what happens is the women are given the privilege not to undertake whatever they want, but here the primary responsibility of the woman is to try to cater to the family. So when she's trying to cater to the family, which is the first role that she always places emphasis on, the second one that she looks at is how she can look at her business. So trying this dual role is a challenge, and therefore that is one of the hindrances that is given. Lack of training. The lack of training comes up because a time factor, it could be a monetary factor, or it could be the availability factor. When you're looking at these three factors, it's a hurdle for any woman to cross. And when she's looking at these three factors, she tries to overcome these because first of all, she seeks the support of family. And when you're looking at this, I was just looking at the statistics, and here I would like to bring out the fact that about 58% of the female entrepreneurs were in the age range 20 to 30. 73% of them approximately reported 10 lakhs revenue in a financial year. 57 of these women started solo without any other member. About 35% of the women had a co-founder. Roughly 71% of the Indian female entrepreneurs employ 5 people or less. And the reason, the more people you have in your organization, I know it becomes the more disorganized. So I think women try to keep it small for 2 reasons. One is the conflicts may be less, and 2, maybe the financial constraints that they have. If these financial constraints are removed, and if the organization is helped by the government, which I've seen in the startup programs, which is a great opportunity for all women to take and try to use those facilities. I'm addressing all the women that are out there who are young, energetic, and willing to launch into a new idea. I appeal to you that you have to take all these opportunities that the Indian government is giving to you and try to come up with some new idea. Follow Schumpeter's principle. Try to find a new market for your product. That's one way to do it. Try to find something new that you can sell online, which has become very efficient now. Most people are doing online, and I see the amount of women entrepreneurs who are selling clothes in USA online, and there's a big market out there. And there are some people who are engaged in sending pickles, the traditional one, and that is also being a good thing. And when you look at all these, take the help of the government, use the programs that they have, and try to use them so that you can sort of think. Now, what does this growth do? This growth, what it does is it pushes the production prosperity curve outward. Talking back of economics, the reason why any emphasis on growth is that every economy, including India, is interested in shifting its production possibility curve. The way it can shift its production possibility curve outward, I love my economics, so I have to bring in my economics. So it has to shift the production possibility curve. And in order to shift the production possibility curve, women entrepreneurs are needed. The reason why women entrepreneurs are needed in any society is they have a new source of development for us. This community has not been tapped enough. and this community has not been used enough. And therefore, the more people that can come and not just stick to the family traditions and try to come out and do something within your own society. Even if you start, you can be an entrepreneur in education, start your own school, a little tuition at your home, and try to develop it and try to help those students where they're not getting enough education and or training, or try to help the poor people with a minimum payment. Try to cater to the low income group families whose children do not have the resources. All these are help that you can give as an entrepreneur. And that is what I would really refer to as empowerment. Women have a great impact because they have the patience, they have the tolerance, and they have the ability, but they need the training, they need the facilitators to help them out. And when you look at all these factors, you can think of it as a very good personal enterprise for yourself as well as for the society. And you can move the production possibility curve from one to the other. In other words, a production possibility curve, let me go back for a little bit and say that it's based on fixed resources. And it's drawn on the assumption that if you're able to produce one, then you're not able to produce the other. But my argument here is, with the help of women in the society, we can shift the production possibility frontier outward by making available this new resource that we have, and that resource we have are the women entrepreneurs in India. The women entrepreneurs in India can be a good source of, I would say, in a very vague sense, a source of new raw material that Schumpeter was referring to. Where do you identify a new source of raw material? The new source of raw material that we have is right here in human capital. And the human capital that we have is in the form of women. And if women can contribute to this society in that fashion, and if they can try to do what is necessary to be done, I think we can go a long way in terms of growth. The second question that I would like to also bring up when I talk about the women entrepreneurship and women empowerment, I would say that they have a great role to play in the development. Economic development includes economic growth, but economic growth plus development in all the other areas is what we refer to as economic development. Please make sure that this distinction is very clear. Growth is increases in per capita income. You're talking about population, output divided by population. When you talk about economic development, you're talking about development in all areas of the society. And who is the key person for this development is, in my opinion, it's a woman. Because it's a woman who has the time and the resources in which she can shape her children and she can run the family and at the same time be a contributor to the growth. So both development and economic growth are in the hands of a woman. And if the woman can address these two issues by concentrating on this, I think she would have a great role to play in the society. Can she take the help of the government? Yes. I'm not referring to all those because all those are available on the internet for you. You can look on the internet, and if you look at the volume of literature that is available, you just have to be patient and go through all this. People have done excellent work on this, and people have given a lot of pointers, but all the points carry the main role that women has in trying to improve not only herself, but the society at large. And the way she can improve the society at large, as I said, I will repeat, make contribution to growth, make contribution to economic development. Both are related, and economic growth is not independent of economic development. Economic growth is part of economic development. And if you are interested in economic development in the society, which we all should be, because just increasing per capita incomes is not the goal of any society. The goal of any society is to improve in all areas. You're talking about all areas. I'm talking about political, religious, social, historical, demographic, everything. So when you look at all these developments, then you're talking about Okay, let's have both growth and development. And who can have a key role in this? A key role can be played by the women in the society. And these women exist. Some are ambitious, some just lay back and say, oh no, that's not possible for me. I cannot do it. There is nothing like cannot, and there's nothing that you will not. It's only up to you. If you make up your mind and you have the motivation to do it, anything can be done. Where can you find the motivation? The motivation has to come from you. And once you get the motivation, others will listen to you and others will try to help you to get through this. But if you don't have and you just lay back, then no one will help. And if you're talking about all the motivational factors that are listed, it's interesting to see that you're looking at the, when you look at the constraints, I mean, lack of confidence and support from the family members. Why should you lack confidence? The confidence is in you. Just think, I can do, and I will do, and I can change, and I will change. Then you get your own confidence. Social cultural factors, which I mentioned, the dual tasks of running the business and performing the household duties. You need to balance these two. I'm not saying don't do the household duties and concentrate on your ambition. You need to balance the two. And I'm sure the women who have given us examples of successful entrepreneurs are doing both. So it is necessary for you to do it. The market oriented risks. When you talk about the market oriented risks, yes, there's tough competition outside. But you try to think of it as though that if they can do it, I can do it. I am capable and I will be able to do it. The knowledge of business administration, try to get some training. Go out there and try to overcome this difficulty. Take some new classes. If you need to become a teacher, take some teacher training. If you need to want to become an IT specialist, take some IT courses. Or if you want some household, sewing jobs, take a sewing job and try to learn sewing, and so on and so forth. There are so many avenues available to you, and you have to identify the available resources. These are the what are the factors that make women come into become entrepreneurs. When you look at them, we identify the push factors and the pull factors. Push factors are the sudden change in family income, which is a very often true. There's a sudden change in family income, and therefore you want to try to increase your family income, and that is called a push factor. There may be a change in the family situation. Unfortunately, a death occurs, or you lose all your property due to some conflicts, and therefore you're forced to work. And this push factor makes you to come into employment. And the moment it comes into employment, then the argument is, yes, you have to push yourself, and you're no longer a job seeker because there are sometimes no jobs available. You have to be a job creator. And when you become a job creator, you are an entrepreneur. And the way you have to look at it is, you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping people around you. I'm not sure if I'm making much sense to you, but I would like you to think about all these in these following terms. Try to think of it as a personal achievement, because that is the pull factor. The full pull factor is you need to be aware that you want to succeed. If you don't want to succeed, then nobody can help you to succeed. The question is, you have to have that willingness, and you have to have the thing. Just as we defined in when we talk about demand in economics, we say the demand is not only the ability to buy, but also the willingness to buy. Ability to buy, in the first, need the money to buy. Willingness to buy, you don't want the product, but you have to have a willingness to buy. Then if you have only those two characteristics, we call it demand. The same thing applies here. If you want to demand employment, or if you want to have employment, you need to find the ability to do the work. And then the second thing is, you need the willingness to work. If you have the ability to do the work and you have the willingness to do the work, nobody can stop you. And once you get into the employment sort of field, your horizon will widen and say, well, if I can find employment for myself, why don't I create employment for other people who are in the same situation? And that will make you become an entrepreneur, and that will give you the influence on the society. And the moment you put your influence on the society, this will be a chain reaction and would have an impact on your family, your town, your village, so on and so forth. So it goes on. It is a clear line. The line has to start somewhere and then it will follow. And once you follow that line, I think you will be able to succeed very well. The last aspect that I would like to talk about is I read entirely about these startup programs, and I think they're an excellent information that you have. And I think most of you should go through it if you want to be an entrepreneur. See what the government is trying to do for you and try to see. And as defined by the government of India, you're talking about a woman entrepreneur, or you can call as any enterprise that is owned by women. 51% of the capital should come from interest capital should be from the women, and 50% of the employment should be generated should be given to women. Then they call it a women enterprise. Fair enough, and I agree with it absolutely. That definition has been very good, and I think the programs that are developed have been very good. And if the women in the present can use those, I think it would be a good one. And I think I've covered most of the issues that I really want to talk, but I'm a big fan of Schumpeter, and therefore I think his ideas should be implemented by all women entrepreneurs. Try to look at, again, I repeat, those 5 points, aspects in which Schumpeter said that an entrepreneur can succeed. Come up with a new product, come up with a new source of raw material, come up with a new market, come up with a new technology, or try to reorganize whatever structure you have and try to develop it either in the area of distribution, production, or in the area of things. Internationally, I think women have succeeded. India is no less from 31, it increased to 31% from way back where it was 5%. I think that's a big change compared to 45% of USA who have all those resources. I don't think India is lacking at all. And hats off and congratulations to all those women entrepreneurs who have contributed to this great nation. In conclusion, I would say that this has been a good opportunity for me to cover this aspect, although it is nowhere close to my initial research interest. But I think women exporters and women importers are also existing in international economics. And that's a very new area where you can export your product or you can do business in trade. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, I'd be willing to answer.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Vani madam. You have given a nice speech about the women entrepreneurship, and you have already balanced, and you also touched the theory and practice. How can the women entrepreneurship can be improved while focusing on the subject, the production possibility curve. So it's very nice to listen here, and you also touched the factors which are influencing and which are becoming as a hurdles for stopping the women entrepreneurship growing in India. And we have also touched the true stories and the resources how can to be utilized for the empowering women entrepreneurship in India, and what are the motivational factors that influence and that cause for this present scenario. And it's very nice to listen all these aspects, madam. Thank you very much once again. And Now, madam, there is a question from our colleague, Dr. Deepika, madam. She wants to ask about the women entrepreneurship. Thank you, madam.
A very warm good morning, madam.
Thank you.
Really, the session was very enlightening, the participants. And really, you empowered the women, madam, by your talk. Ma'am, my question was, is there any national policy to empower and to provide entrepreneurship to the women?
Well, I think Government of India has given great opportunities for you folks. If you look at the startup of India, there's a lot of encouragement, and you need to come up with some idea that you can use it. And don't wait for the nation to do it. My argument is you do it. You think about it and you come up, and then take the help of the government or your neighbors or your family or whoever you find support. Even a few friends of you can join together and start an enterprise. Just think about it, and thinking is the main part. You have to think, and not always we as a woman, and unfortunately I have to say that when they are young, they listen to the father. When they are later, they listen to the brother, and then they listen to the husband, and then when they get older, they listen to the son. This has to go. I think woman has to think for herself and say, what do I want to do? I'm not asking to rebel against all these people, but I'm trying to say that don't wait for the nation to do. Try to think of what you can do for yourself. In what way can I improve my lot? In what way can I change my situation? In what way can I help my family? And the moment you think about how you can help your family, it will become an easy task for you to help your other. A few friends of you can have what's called a think tank and storm brain ideas, write them down, and say, okay, what can we four of us do? What ideas can we come up with? Should we start? What business can we start? Anything that you can think of. Maybe you can come up with some, trying to get some pencil production in your university with the name of the university on the pencil, and try to sell it to all the students, or and they like it as souvenirs. They'll keep them. It's an old idea, but you can implement it for your school or your university. I'm just coming out with something that's out of my head. I'm not saying that you have to follow it. Or you can come up with a souvenir with a keychain and put your university name and say, okay, this would be a good product to sell to all these students. And I can come up with this and manufacture those and sell them as souvenirs in your own university. Or at the same time, you can provide lunch programs. Some people are not able to bring lunch to the university because their circumstances are such that maybe you can provide subsidized lunch. I'm not, these are all ideas for which we don't have to wait for the nation. You can come up by yourself and try to use them. Not sure if I answered your question, but this is my response.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Yes.
One more question, madam.
Yes.
Yeah, you told that the woman is the key person for the nation because
Yeah.
she has the ability to manage the household duties as well as the other private sector duties also. So, in spite of all these things, why the percentage of entrepreneurship is low in case of women?
I told you the same answer. I go back to the same answer. Women don't think for themselves. Number one, women have got used to being dependent on men at different stages. Women don't think for themselves. That's one problem. The second problem, their lack of motivation. In other words, they're happy with the family life and they don't bother. And if they can come out of that shell and say, what can I do out of this shell, outside the shell? If I can come out of this hole, what can I do? I don't really call it a hole, but out of this situation. Situation. Housewife is good, but I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. But once the children grow up and they're out, I think you can think and see what I can do. I'm not asking you to sacrifice your household duties, do them, but at the same time, think out of the tank and say, how can I contribute to the society? Because having education, staying at home, and doing nothing is a waste of a big raw material in India or anywhere. I'm not saying, because there is some things that you can do in addition to being housewife. Just as, the man does household duties, he goes to the market, he buys everything, and he comes, and at the same time he has to go to office and do. So why does the woman think only she has to do just this? Question yourself. I mean, this is my thinking.
Okay. Thank you, madam.
Welcome.
Good morning, madam.
Yes. Go ahead.
Thank you very much for
Thank you,
your
madam.
information.
Thank you.
And
one more,
Yes.
one more query from our faculty member, Dr.
Yes.
Anuradha Suryakumari. She wants to ask a question on this.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am.
Good morning, madam.
Yes, good morning.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Nice meeting you. I'm from English department, ma'am.
Okay.
Really, you have proved that an empowered woman can empower and empowers. Thank you so much. My question is, what does a woman need to start entrepreneurship?
First of all, she has to think about it. This is what I was just telling. In other words, you need to come up with an idea. And that idea that you can come up with is, what can I do? How can I become an entrepreneur? And in order to become an entrepreneur, look around you. Look around you and think what you can do. You can do anything you want, provided you have the motivation. See if you have the family support. If you don't have the family support, try to get the help of some friends who will support your idea. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah.
My video is not visible. That's why I'm unable to see you.
Oh. So try to think about it and you come up with some ideas. As I said, you can help other families, and you can become an entrepreneur by babysitting for children whose mothers are working. And you can start that as a daycare, and you can run a daycare and help them out. You can start in your own house, a small daycare, and make it develop. That's one enterprise that you can contribute, and you can be a woman entrepreneur. You can be a woman entrepreneur running a daycare, or you can do anything. Maybe if you're good at writing, and since you said you're an English professor, if you're good at writing, and you can write some essays and some other things, and contribute that way, and try to build up your own sort of little company, saying that what you do is academic training. And you can give the academic training by writing articles, by writing short stories, or whatever you want.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm Sushana, and I'm student from SKR Women's College. I would like to ask you one question, madam. Being a student,
Yes.
Being a student, I had all the pull-out factors like ability to work or willingness to do what I am has to do. But, and I had got family support too. But my question is, as of a woman, we all need to think about security, about startup or anything, no ma'am. Is there any security policies that government is providing? If not government, what security factors we have to take, ma'am?
Government is, you read up the information on the startup policies of the government, and I read it entirely, the report. And
no,
it's
not from the government, ma'am. Actually, I want to do as an individual, like
as
myself. Not
but
from the government support. Is there any support there to secure myself?
yeah, you can secure yourself by depending on the nature of the business that you undertake. It depends on the nature of business that you undertake. If you're taking a business, then you have to provide some security for yourself, in the sense that if you're going out and doing the work, that's, you have to do it. Otherwise, you can also do what you call the Suppose you're wanting to give tuition to people, that doesn't require much security. You can start, you can become an entrepreneur and start your own tutorial college.
Okay.
What security would you need for that? Do you
Okay.
follow me? I think
Yeah.
you can. Am I answering your question?
Yes, ma'am. I'm getting.
Yeah. So, you know, that the reason security is something that we have to think about depending upon the nature of the business. If the nature of the business is such that you can provide security, you have to take that as a first point because you want to do it yourself. You don't want to take the help of the government. Fine, no problem. But at the same time, you also make sure that you will provide something for them in the sense that you make yourself secure. Take the place where you're going to start your tuition, maybe your house, maybe your garage, or maybe whatever place you're thinking. And if that is secure, what is the reason? I mean, you can go with this business, start tuitions. Or if you want to run a daycare, make sure that the place is secure and you can start.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Any queries? Any queries from the comment section?
Can I just add a few points here, ma'am?
Yeah, madam. Sure.
Of my own personal thing?
Yes, madam.
If there are no questions from the group.
Yes, madam.
I come from University of Nebraska at Kearney, which is started as a degree state college and it became a university. Actually, it started as a training school for teachers and now it's a full-fledged university. And it is a very small town and it's a very good university and you can look at it on the website www.unk.edu. And if any of you have questions, please feel free to email me, kochalakov@unk.edu. Your organizers have my email. Thank you very much. It was wonderful to talking to you. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to ask. Hello? Did I lose you?
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
madam. Thanks
Yeah.
for your valuable suggestions and answers for our queries. You have patiently here helped us. Thank you once again, madam, for participating and you are acquainted us towards giving a knowledge related to empowering women entrepreneurs. Though the hurdles are many in our country, but we have given some suggestions and some pathways towards empowering the women entrepreneurship in India. And once again, thankful to you, madam, for participating in the webinar. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for being part of it.
Thank you. Now, it's a time for introducing the second speaker of the today's webinar, Dr. C.H. Shankar Rao garu. And in this connection, I request my colleague, Srimati C.V. Ramalakshmi garu, to introduce Dr. Shankar Rao garu. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's a great privilege and honor to me to introduce Dr. C.H. Shankar Rao garu, Assistant Professor, Department of Economics, TRR Government Degree College, Kandukuru, Nellore District, Andhra Pradesh. He did MA Economics from Central University of Hyderabad, MPhil and PhD from Center for the Study of Regional Development, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. He qualified UGC NET examination. He was the member of Indian Economic Association, membership AP 228. Currently, he was working as assistant professor in economics under CCE, Government of AP, posted at TRR Government Degree College, Kandukuru, Nellore District, AP. He won appreciation award by CCE, Department of Higher Education, Government of AP for editing and content development to textbook on skill development course on survey and reporting and for acting as master trainer. He was academically advanced in curriculum development for skill enhancement courses for UG economics in 7th, 8th semesters in AP, APSHI, Government of AP 2023. He wrote bilingual textbook microeconomic analysis for first semester BA and macroeconomic analysis for second semester BA. He text on survey and reporting skill development course for UG editor and 2 chapters is CCE Government of EP 2022. Sixth semester book also he wrote. He presented papers to 5 international and 17 national seminars. He wrote 20 editorial articles in popular daily Telugu newspapers and 5 institutional projects. He was involved in 5 institutional projects. He independent research project on land markets, increasing agricultural land prices, and implication for agricultural productive activities. Today, it is our fortune to have such a versatile speaker of this webinar today.
Thank you, madam. And now we request Dr. Shankar Rao garu to give his. Thank you.
Am I audible, ma'am? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Is my voice is clear?
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So good morning, everyone, and it's my privilege to be part of this webinar, and most important and most relevant, most contemporary topic that India needs, that is empowering the woman entrepreneur. And I would like to thank the organizers and Lakshmi madam, who is organizing this webinar, and also my fellow speaker Vani Kocharlakota madam for her valuable speech. So first, we as a teacher need to talk about we as a teacher, not practically as an entrepreneur, but we need to teach this entrepreneurship. So as a part of this, I am fortunate to be part of developing the syllabus for skill enhancement courses for third year degree courses. That time we have gone through a lot of brainstorming of what kind of courses that we should keep. So economics, our parent subject. So our task was to develop some skill courses. But so far in economics in India, that too in government degree college system, we do not have a skill-oriented syllabus, skill-oriented curriculum for it. Economics has remained as the only, it is a just theory and just explaining some concept and principles, but not to the extent of going for the practicing it. And if you look back, what are the potential things? We found out that entrepreneurship. And there we have developed different kinds of entrepreneurship, rural entrepreneurship, urban entrepreneurship. In both the things, we were very particular to add this component of woman entrepreneurship. That is what I would like to tell. So, because why we need to talk about this woman entrepreneurship? We all know that entrepreneurship is the something in economics who is the creator of the wealth. as the process of creating the wealth, he will engage, or he or she engage in many activities. They mobilize the capital, they bring up the technology, they provide the employment, they provide very essential goods and services, innovative goods and services, many things to the society. In a way, they contribute a lot. So entrepreneurial is the key for any kind of activity. Even that can be a single entrepreneur, that can be a big company, corporate. In India, like, why we need to talk about women entrepreneur in special? So because we need to go for, as being an economist, we need to go for statistics. If everything is good, if everything is fair, then we need not to talk about particularly about women entrepreneurship. So women entrepreneurship statistics says what they say. We need to talk, statistics say that it is out of 100 entrepreneurs in India, we have only 14 are women entrepreneurs. Women entrepreneurs, we know that it is the run by the woman, and who is the key decision maker there. That kind of entrepreneurship are there only 14%. And more sadly, that out of 14%, 90% of them are micro in nature. That means below 1 crore. So that means they are confined to very small, very female. There is a gender bias also there. We know that women are confined to fancy shop. Women are confined to small class. Women are confined to only handicraft, not in a big ventures, not in a big car, mobile, great things. But they are confined to only small micro nature. And another sad part is that they don't have the finance also. The finance, 80% of these women entrepreneurs, they run on their self-finance. So they don't have any access to finance and bank credit. That is the situation in India. So as a whole, there is a complete bias towards the male entrepreneurship. There is a complete discrimination towards women entrepreneurship that we need to accept. First, the story is that by facts, we need to accept that there is no parity for the women entrepreneurship. That is why we need to talk something specially to bring them up. Why we need to talk? We just have to be a society, everybody needs to be equal. So the gender also, women also. And also another interesting thing is that gender, if India wants to be a number one, and if India wants to grow GDP wise very fast, it is essential, it is wholeheartedly recognized everywhere that women should be made part of that, because 50% workforce we have, that too we know that only 20-25% of women are participating in labor force, and in entrepreneurship very less. So we need to bring them into the mainstream of economics, what is going on in Indian economy. So unless we do that, we can't grow. So that is why we need women entrepreneurship for that. So that is the thing. So another statistics also, it says that recently, that is a MasterCard index for women entrepreneurship. India ranked very poor. Out of 57 countries, India stood at the lower rank of 52. So this is also very sad indication. And gender gap also, we all know that out of 199, India poor, very bad, 135. It's not to discourage the thing. It is to know the situation where we are in. Unless we know where we are, then only we can plan for the future, and we can aspire for the future to be optimistic. Then here my intention is to, instead of just telling the concepts, our intention is to bring some stories, inspirational stories, especially young women who are doing good, 3 stories, and take inspiration and develop some concept and develop some principles out of that to be adopted for it. So first story is that this is a story of Neha Muzwadia. She is the girl. She is just below 30 only. She is still unmarried. Very inspiring. How she is inspiring? She has hailed from very small village from a Madhya Pradesh, and she studied up to graduation in that small town only. And she has done, interestingly, she has done BA Economics, and after that she went for MBA. There, to just for her daily expenses, instead of asking her parents, she started doing a small tuitions. From the tuitions, she slowly developed an entrepreneurial nature that why can't I start my own? So what she has done, she has observed for 2 years, and she has started her own tutor cabin. That is a company called Tutor Cabin. She has started with 50,000, and now it is turned to 2 crore. So there is a lot of pain in that. First, she had faced a lot of problems, her family itself. So first question that comes, why you being a just a woman, just be something, get married and do some small job. You cannot be entrepreneur. That was the questions that have come from her parents. And also villagers also, they were keep on passing some comments that how women can do these things. So, but she has withstood all those things with her own inspiration and her talent and skills. Without skill, that won't happen again. So she had, with her teamwork, she had expanded it to 2 crore business. What she has done in between, she had adopted this edu technology now. First, she has started a physical home tuitions. Later, she has expanded to online one. So there she has used very advanced technologies of these edu technologies, like online coaching, good presentations, good content, good delivery. These all those things she had managed. And finally, at the end of the day, she is now one of the emerging entrepreneur in terms of this edu techs. That is her story. Very inspiring. Next, if you see, another story is that this is story of Farah Ahmad. This is also another interesting story that I found, that she is a graduate, not even in BA Economics or Entrepreneur or MBA. She was a biotechnology graduate, and after that she has done MSc Biotechnology also. But her mind was always to stand to independent. So unless you have that nature, you cannot become an entrepreneur, first of all. As Madam was telling that, first you have to be convinced by mind that I can do it, I should do it. So she was keep on exploring while she was doing some other ancillary jobs. Some research associate also she has done it. But while doing that, what she has done with to keep alive her interest, she has done some courses from IISc Bangalore about entrepreneurship skills. So she got some skills and knowledge from there. And after that, she started looking around the world, that keep exploring in the world. So sometimes always books will not teach. What is available in the market, you have to keep your eyes and ears open, heart open, and explore it. So in that way, she has found some spa business, that is massage. But where I got inspiration to bring it before you, this is that during Corona time, she had lost her brother, she had lost her father, both of them. So she had some skills of designing some clothes. She has brought all the old clothes of her brother and father. As a memory of them, she had designed some, with the old clothes, she has designed some quilts, that is quilts. So she put it in the online, just to share with other people, not to do a business also there. But of course, it has a more business idea in that. So suddenly people got interest into that because it is an emotional issue, and also there is innovation into it. So in the background of her photo, you can see that is her quilts, that is collecting the old clothes of person who is lost, and as a memory of them, we'll keep it. What he has done, where he or she has gone somewhere and do some achievements. All those things will be reflected there. So she has put it in the for her own emotional thing she has developed, but later when people got interested into it, she has developed into a business. Now that business went on to now 2.5 crore to 12 crore turnover. So what is the things that we have to learn from it here? She has the passion, she has the interest to be an independent entrepreneur. She keep on exploring, and she has done some skill development courses. Even she was not belong to that entrepreneur background also. She done some skill development courses from good institutes, and after she keep on exploring. During that process, even an emotional issue also has become a business idea, and she pursued that, and later that becomes a base for her entrepreneurship. This is the another interesting story that we could learn. Third one, which I would like to expose it to you, that this is the woman. She is also around 35. Krutika Kumaran. Krutika Kumaran. She is also hailed from very small town called Gobi Chettapalam in Tamil Nadu. It's a very small town. She has done her BTech. She because of her in-laws and her husband, and also she got another baby because of that. To take care of that baby, she remained as a housewife, but she has the passion to be an entrepreneur from the beginning. So, but what made her to be entrepreneur? You see it. She has some 10 years girl. From a 2 years on, her daughter has got some skin disease. So she has consulted so many doctors, so many things she has used, but there was no use. She started exploring that what can be done for that. So she started by looking at here on YouTubes and by reading some natural Ayurvedic books, because she's already graduate. She can understand her own, but she was exploring to find some solution for the skin disease of her daughter. So during that process, through this YouTube, through some other course, through some material, she developed a natural soap by using the goat milk for the solution of skin problem to her daughter. So that has become successful. Slowly, being a entrepreneur nature she has got, she put up in her Facebook and Instagram. Then people started developing interest. How you have developed? Can you sell it to us? Then slowly she has made it a business for it. And slowly she has more strengthened by using her research skills, by bringing in some team. So slowly she has expanded to some more than 25 products now. What are those products? These are natural Ayurvedic products. It is a personal care. She has started the company called Vilva. It's a natural personal care products. This is a customized one. Customized and personal care one. So in this, she has slowly expanded it by using her leadership and innovativeness. And now it is 29 crore a business company now. So this way, that what she has done, she has from innate quality of entrepreneurship, She kept even for 10 years, even after she became the housewife also. She took care of her daughter. In order to find the solution for her daughter, she explored something innovative and do as a part of that, she found something product that is later used for the business idea. Later she has developed it. So this is one story that I would like to bring it to you. So as a whole, what we find for being a woman entrepreneur to be successful. So these all women, they don't have any background of business. First, just they are educated, but who have a mindset of being entrepreneur. They are always exploring to be entrepreneur, but some situations have come up in their way. They have utilized it to be. So from these three stories, we can take the lessons that what a woman needs to be a successful entrepreneur. First of all, according to me, she has to break all the barriers, whether it is a social, cultural, or a political, whatever. So social, cultural, we all know that in India, there is a mind setup. Still, we have to agree that is a male-dominated patriarchal society. First thing that she has to break that barrier by her mind. Of course, it should be supported by other ecosystem outside, but first it has to come from within. So then only it will be possible. So social, cultural, we know. Economical also, there is a barriers that has to be done by the institutional level. Since in India, property right is still with the male one. But now law has changed, but it has not completely come to the implementation level. But now slowly in educated families, some empowered families, it is changing. But still, most of the properties in Hindu families or any other religion also, it is with the male. So this, unless that is come with the law implementation with her, then only she can think of doing business or being entrepreneur if she has a property in her at her name. That should be there. Then after that, next thing is that innovative business ideas. So that as we were taking from these three stories, that they were keep on exploring from their life itself. From their life itself, they were keep on exploring. If they have their eyes and ears open, heart open, they'll find out some ideas definitely. So in that way, you need to keep on exploring for the innovative ideas. Whatever we have seen, these are not traditional business like making some mail, making some handkerchief, making some gadget, not that. They are doing some innovative, they're making it more innovative business ideas. And next one is that she has the strategic executive plans that will come through skills and your leadership qualities, your coordination, your team spirit. These all those things should be there to execute your plan. I call it as a strategy. You need to be a team leader. So you need to be empathetic to your teammates. You need to have a plans how you execute. You need to know where the finance we will get it, either through families or from the banks. Is all. And last one is that you need to constantly update the skills, updation of skills by doing some courses and also adopting the technology that is already there or developing it. So with these qualities, definitely women entrepreneurship in India should definitely will grow. We aspire for it that it will women after by at the end of the 100 years of Amrit Kal, India independence, we aspire that women should at least come to on par with men in entrepreneurship, even in other activities also. So what are the institutional support that currently that we have where women should explore? First, private, there are n number of private organizations are there where they handhold, they give training, they give psychological support, and also they will show some finance and business model that to start and develop our entrepreneurship. First one is that Women Entrepreneurs and Empowerment Foundation. This is the one of the leading organization where, and we can tell it to all our students that they have a 6 months program to provide skill and also to provide some support also to start their business, incubation centers. So 6 months free courses. So many women have used this facility and become entrepreneurs. Next one, they have a network called Shiros. There, they get all support, but they don't give training, but they get support. And some amount of training they give, but they'll get the network there that they can interact with other women entrepreneurs. India Angel is also another organization where they provide the support for to be a woman to be an entrepreneur. That is the one. There could be many other. And the government has some programs. So especially Startup India, they have many programs. So there are, I can just show that. Under Bharatiya there is a Bharat Mahila Bank where they'll get the commercial loan. There is a Dina Shakti scheme. There is Udyogini scheme by the government. There is Mahila Udyam Nidhi scheme by Sidbi Bank. There is a Stree Shakti scheme by the SBI. So these are all other schemes apart from startup. So a woman who wants to be an entrepreneur, who wants to prove herself, who wants to be on par with any other person in this world, they have to use these all supporting institutional support, both private and government. So hope that the day will come where we need not to talk about entrepreneurs in women special only after they become the half part, more than that. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your valuable speech on women entrepreneurship in India. And you also touched about the success stories of women entrepreneurs in India. So it clearly shows that your personal intention towards upbringing of women entrepreneurship in India, and also your effort is also clearly showing here. I impressed about your topic selection also. Backdoor to backbone. It's very inspiring. And you narrated in a nice manner also. You gave you gave a lot of knowledge related to the keys for women entrepreneurship in India and what is the institutional support by the government towards women entrepreneurship. And these are very nice, but from the rural India, we expect more from women entrepreneurship in India, because the entire rural India is backward, unaware, and illiteracy. These are the general conditions which are vested in our country now. So that's why, in view of keeping those aspects, so can we expect women entrepreneurs from rural India? And what are the main hurdles related to that? Can you explain?
Yes. Thank you, madam. So actually, we also hail from rural India. I deliberately kept these things, these stories. Generally, in rural area, which I was trying to explore and also see that. There again, a traditional going for male, making some handicraft, small things that there. But anyway, we cannot discard that. But now we are going, now my intention is to teach the students who are Trallo's graduate. I want them to be go beyond that. But of course, they have many constraints. It is not easy that compared to urban setup, a girl from rural area to come out. That is why I deliberately taken the story of village girl also there. But with a little bit skills and innovations and passion, they can also develop, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And one more query from our faculty member, Dr. Anuradha Suryakumari. She will answer. Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, madam.
Thank you very much, sir. Your presentation is very useful and informative. I don't say it's a question. Why don't you people, scholars, professors, ask the higher education or propose the higher education or suggest the higher education to introduce a course on agriculture? Because the government is focusing on job-ready graduates with the employability skills and all. And ours is an agricultural country, basically. At least some course related to this type of rural ideas.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for your observation. Actually, our now our system, as you know, that it is a general graduation.
Yes.
Agriculture, actually, there are streams that to be agriculture science. Now, in our graduation, we don't have a management system. Otherwise, agribusiness management is the one of the upcoming course. And we, being a part of in economics, last time that we fought for one course, that rural entrepreneurship. Rural entrepreneurship there, which is a component of it comprises of all agriculture and allied sectors in the rural area. So we have the course under skill enhancement courses. I was a part of that designing that course. So we made it as much as possible to be practical, from starting an agricultural or a non-agriculture in the rural setup, a company, how we have to start a business organization, what are the laws, how we have to mobilize the finance, what the way we have to take for market, and what are the challenges that during the process of that doing business. So that way, some extent we have introduced. But now again, under restructured course, we are proposing another under economics, entrepreneurial economics as a whole. There definitely there will be a rural component for it, and we are going to make it so practical, because but we as an advisor only, but we don't have everything in our hands, as you know. Yes, that under CC
it's a
we have limitations. But at our level, definitely we are pushing to be an entrepreneurial or kind of thinking, even in our economics students also. We are doing our part, and entrepreneurial economics is going to be major component would be agriculture and allied sectors, definitely.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. One more query from other science chemistry department, Dr. Sunita.
Agriculture sector. Can we hope the women entrepreneurs from agriculture sector in our country?
Sorry, ma'am.
Can we hope the women entrepreneurs from agriculture sector in our country?
No, I didn't. It was not clear. Your voice is not clear.
Sir, she is asking again about can we hope more entrepreneurs from agriculture again? She is asking from rural India in all respects.
Okay.
Okay.
Whether we can hope it or not. That's what
Yeah.
that our okay. Right. So to give it a straight answer, actually, women are already entrepreneur. That's why I told it is a backdoor to backbone they have to bring. So every agricultural setup, agricultural family, there is a woman who is already doing lot of many things. But only thing is that she has to come to the front. That requires her own effort and also institutional support. Definitely, I hope that, but when the society gradually move, there won't be any sector which women, it is that which women cannot enter. There won't be any sector. She can enter in all the sectors, because nowadays agriculture is not something is that only man can do with her hard work, many hard work. Women can do with the help of the technology. Already she was very big part of that. And also with the coming technology and the knowledge, definitely she will be. She is there. She is through self-help groups. She's already there in making women handicraft in dairy sector, and also now they are coming into the marketing, also buying through SHG. They are supposed to buy the grain from the market, but only thing is that now they have to come before. That will happen in the future, I think so. Definitely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your answering the questions. And this webinar is also very informative. It's not only attracting the economic science, but also from the various other sciences also. I'm really happy that we invited you as a speaker of this webinar. Okay. And so any queries from the comment section? Okay. So it is the time for end the session now. So in this connection, I request our colleague, Dr. Anuradha Suryakumari, to give her a vote of thanks.
Good morning once again. On behalf of the Department of Economics and SKR Government Degree College for Women, convey our deep regards and hearty thanks to our Honorable Commissioner of Collegiate Education, Dr. Paula Bhaskar Garu, Commissioner. Words are not enough to thank our Principal, Dr. P. Raghav Kumar Garu, for a constant support and guidance to organize and design this webinar. I would like to thank our keynote speaker, Madam Vani Garu, for her wonderful message, for her wonderful words about the way a woman should be empowered and already empowered. And she is the best example for an empowered woman. Thank you, ma'am. You are right. And what you have told about is reminds me some good words about women. It is not about knocking on closed doors. It's about building our own house and having our own doors. Thank you, madam. Really, your words are very inspiring and motivating. Coming to Shankar Rao, sir. So I have understood that a true entrepreneur is not a dreamer, a doer. And as you have told, embrace the inner entrepreneur and give it your best, right? So I hope all the faculty in our college and the students, everybody who happened to hear your messages or stories or words are really very happy, and everybody has told me to convey their happiness. Thank you so much. And I congratulate all the faculty members, particularly the Department of Economics, for its wonderful organization. And we have to convey our thanks to the Subramanian Garu for his technical support, because he is the person who is responsible for the success of every webinar in our college. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And the program ends with Janagan Mana. So I request all the delegates to stand and sing the Janagan Mana.
Punjab, Sindh, Gujarat, Maratha, Dravid, Shubh Ashish Mage, Gage Tav Jaya Gata, Jaya Jaya Mangala Bharat, Jaya Bharat Bhagya Vidhata, Jaya He, Jaya He, Jaya He, Jaya 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 He.
Thank you, one and all. Thank you very much.